spooks, it is time to talk about The Nun, and I know what you podcasted last summer. Woo, we're very excited to tell you about this. I'm Veronica, hosting today, and here to my lovely left is lovely Mary. Across from me is...
Beatrice.
Oh my god.
Damn it,
and
now
right
I need to go.
next to her.
I want to retroactively add a pun type thing to my name.
And to her, right, in my left.
Bringing it back.
Yeah, bringing it all back to the circle.
Murderous Mary.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right, time for action, Kenneth.
Oh, God.
God damn it.
No, it should be Killeth.
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 I believe Mary always points the way, though.
Oh,
That's right.
That's what I liked about this
Mother
movie, though.
Jesus,
was
right
subtle.
here.
your fingers are glowing subtly, very subtly.
It was a very subtle thing they were going for there.
This whole damn
An
movie
incredibly
is so
subtle movie.
This movie is so subtle.
like a brick to the face.
Right? It felt like
Like a
brick
Bible to the
face.
head.
Yeah.
like a nun beat down to your eyes.
Like a mouthful of blood spat in your face.
Yeah.
That was hot. I like that.
Not everything can be your fetish, Kenneth. God damn it.
That's
But
my
everything
secret.
happens to be.
It's weird how that works out.
Everything's my fetish.
We were able to see The Nun this last weekend.
Yes.
It's James Wan produced, not directed. It's
No,
directed by
not this
Colin
time.
Hardy.
It showed.
Yeah, but he was directing Aquaman, but apparently he did help out some. Like he was a second DP
Wait,
on some things.
Conjuring dude's directing Aquaman?
He is.
That's awesome.
Right?
Good
It's
for
gonna be
him.
very scary.
Get that DC
It's going to
money.
be so scary, Kenneth.
Scary how ripped that guy is.
Yeah, that's also
Yeah.
true.
My god.
It can be scary how terrible it is.
You know what? I will go on record. I will bet you $350 Aquaman is at least decent.
Oh, no, I'm sure it's going to be fun. I just don't think it's going to be good.
Oh, all I want is fun. I want stupid Aquaman fish jokes.
That's what I expected with The Nun.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't going to be good, but I thought I was going to still enjoy myself quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, but it wasn't very scary.
No,
No,
it was not.
It was not
at
very
all.
scary. Not as scary as you might think at the end of Conjuring 2 when James Wan produced that one where it was at least the nun going down the hallway. Mm-hmm. Down the hallway.
Yeah, this
That's
is-
scary.
Feels
Not
like,
as much this time.
this is if this was a TV show, this is the episode that gets farmed out to the second AD, and they're like, "Good job, Tom."
At least you tried.
You've
Gold
been
star.
here long
Gold
enough. Should give it a shot. And Colin Hardy really hasn't directed much else. It was, I think, one movie in 2015. And that was about it.
And that's his
that was
entire
his
resume
entire
there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
he really wasn't that thing.
It
so.
shows. Sorry, Colin.
Yeah, sorry, Colin. So it opened up with the nun, and it's all scary and stuff. And it's two nuns who are like, "This is it. We have to take care of this." And
They talk in vague terms
Vague
about
terms.
something.
They're in a creepy hallway lined with like 5 million wooden crosses.
There's
and Latin is at the
yeah,
end.
so many crosses. It
So
is
many.
it is an overabundance of crosses.
Would you
they're in
would you
a
say
place of
Crossacopia?
nuns. Oh no,
not quite?
God,
Would
no.
you say that watching this movie is like a cross to bear?
I think Kenneth would.
And then there is a door at the end of the hallway that is very helpfully labeled "God ends here" in Latin.
In Latin.
Though
right.
I would have to look
So
up.
they open it.
If anyone is a Latin expert, I'm curious about why it's 2 words, a comma, and then another word, because the sentence structure is puzzling to me.
William Shatner wrote it. God ends here. Duh.
Nice.
That's all right.
Nice.
It's a nod.
So it was a solid cold open.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why they were going through that door. Like, what was the point of
Of opening the door.
said door?
Well, yeah, that's right. Because if they were all there, I don't know how much you want to talk into the plot of the film, or if we could just jump around.
I mean, the movie jumped around.
Yeah,
so
let's
You're
just-
not wrong.
honestly, I tried to remember this film as it went. I was like, well, then this happened. What the fuck happened after that? And what
Well, 'cause-
happened after
Yeah.
that?
So I actually-
the solid point was the beginning.
Yeah.
The beginning was the solid point where they open the door and they're like, we're doing this.
Yeah, and then cutting over to Frenchie finding the nun, that was good.
That was
Even dude going to the Vatican and then
Because the nun
getting
kills
Irene.
herself because one gets killed after they open the door, and then the other
Right.
nun's like peace, and kills yourself. She asks for forgiveness, of course, because it's, a nun.
Technically not.
The Catholics believe that it's a cardinal sin.
Definitely. Right. And right before she jumps out the window, actually, Valak's name is in the stained glass windows.
Oh, cool.
I didn't notice.
Interesting.
She's like, and she jumps out, right?
Well, because I actually saw the movie twice, because I saw it first with a friend,
And you did
and then
not
which is why I
warn
blame
us.
B more than anything.
and so I know the turns, and I'm watching this knowing that how it ends, and it still doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's unfortunate.
She kills herself because the demon needs a vessel to go into the world. And she's like, well, haha, I'm the last nun. Peace.
No more vessels to
But also,
fill.
why did the demon kill the first nun then? Why not just
Why not just
inhabit
go in there?
that nun?
Yeah,
or
that's true.
walk down the hallway quicker after you've killed the first one?
Stop floating. And get moving.
Or why
That's
open
your
that
last
door?
chance. Demon,
Yeah,
get on it.
she's just like, no, man. I'm ominously floating up on everyone. Deal with it.
Yeah. My first question is, why did we open this door? If we're going in there because she's trying to seal it, why didn't she take the blood with her?
True.
She may
when
not
they
have
went in?
Sequels,
known about the blood?
I don't think they knew.
But she had the key. That's what the key was for.
They opened the key to the door, though.
Yeah,
They
the
used that
key
to the door.
opened the thing
It was like
that
a
led
multi-key.
to the
It was like a
skeleton key.
It's a
Yeah,
skeleton multi-key. It's just opened
Okay,
everything.
so it opens the scary door, and it also opens the Jesus blood door.
Jesus blood
which
door.
suspiciously to me looked like a Christmas ornament.
Yep. It
Yes,
sure
it did.
It was.
I'm not saying they're trying to push
Look,
a new
they-
market line. Of,
They only had so much
things to
budget,
buy.
okay? And they had to fly all those actors to Castle.
Castle Transylvania, yo.
So it was. That's the problem, though, is that this
Oh
is
my God,
literally
what
like.
is happening?
Oh my God. That was like 10 minutes of the movie.
don't
We
know.
still have so many questions. Like, why? And why
Why?
did they do this? But why
Also,
didn't you just do this?
When she runs away from the Latin door, but doesn't close it behind her. So of course whatever was in there gets the fuck out.
Yeah, that's true too. I don't know. I feel like it was a poorly planned execution of whatever they were trying to do.
Maybe the last nuns were not the smartest nuns to survive.
And I
just
guess,
the
like-
fastest.
There's an interesting framework here. Obviously, it was just poorly executed.
Yeah.
Because I do really like the idea of this place that was trying to be evil, which was then overtaken by quote unquote good, and then was maintained for hundreds of years until the bombing shook loose. And then whatever was there got out. Like, that's super interesting.
Yeah, that's a good commentary on war and technological advancements,
Yeah,
like
so-
releasing evil into the world. That's cool.
And that's everything we found out at the
But
end,
no.
though. We don't know that. All we know is this thing is after something, and then it's alone, and everyone's like, well, I guess that's it. The
So-
demon's alone.
So if they had never gone up there, it would have been fine.
It would have been like, whatever.
I mean, like,
We'll just
yeah,
wait till
right?
She gets a little closer, I guess.
The Vatican gets involved because of the suicide.
And BT dubs. The fuck, Vatican.
Yeah,
So
for
they
real.
didn't. They sent in people. So Frenchie finds the nun who kills himself, right? Frenchie's like, I'm the delivery guy, and finds the hanging nun.
With the
whatever.
crows.
With the crows. And they're like, we're gonna go send people to find out if this land is still holy.
They already know.
They don't,
I don't trust
do
these
they
Vatican
not
people.
know
They
about
know.
the Jesus blood that's hanging out in the walls? Because
Well,
you
no.
think that would be the first order is a relic of Jesus blood. Maybe that
They-
would be more important.
Okay, so obviously
get.
the Vatican always knows more than what they're talking about.
But why wouldn't they just get that? I mean, that seems kind of important, no matter if the land is holy or not.
Also, why wouldn't it send like 5 people?
Yeah, why not? Why just 2?
Or 100.
Yeah, why not?
At least 12. We'll compromise.
So
Instead, we get this guy.
because it's not like nobody knows. The
The
higher
deity
ups,
dozen is what we'd call them.
the what?
The deity dozen.
Oh my god, get the fuck.
So that came to me.
Because so somebody up in the upper echelon at the Vatican has to know about the blood being there, and so they sent Sister Irene because she's psychic or whatever, and they must have known that she would be able to find it.
That's a lot of faith in a little girl who's not even had a commitment yet.
I kind of
Bust
assumed
her
that-
balls about
No.
that. By the way,
Constantly.
constantly busting
She hasn't
nuns'
taken her
balls.
vows
You
yet.
haven't
You
taken
haven't
your
taken
vows
your
yet,
vows
girl.
yet.
Until you found her in the street. She was teaching children.
Yeah.
in
Yeah, like
nunnery.
she's
Like, come
working on it.
She's
Get
like-
fucked, y'all.
Right? She's there.
Also, like, I'm a little bummed out that she and Frenchie didn't bone down before she took her vows.
I know. Like, if you're
no.
going to tie yourself to chastity forever, get the D beforehand.
No, man.
I think
Look,
Frenchie's
this
pretty
is
upset
like
about
any,
that, too.
any typical horror movie thing. Even if she wasn't a nun in training, if she had had sex, that would have fucked everything.
That's possible.
That's true. Okay.
She would have walked
Frenchie
in
was
there.
so cute, though.
Yeah.
You mean
Frenchie,
Brendan Fraser too? I want to see him in The Mummy, dude. Like,
dig that.
reboot The
He's got a
Mummy.
great smile.
Yeah.
Frenchie was fine. I just don't think Frenchie was meant to be in this movie.
Frenchie was in the wrong damn ass movie.
He was too much
He was
action
too
comedy.
lighthearted action
Yes.
comedy.
This is not, this is not the nun to me. This is Frenchie, the misadventures of a man
And a
should
nun.
have been- and a nun. Like,
I don't know.
obviously, like,
I would watch that movie.
and that would have been more.
Yeah, I think.
Wait, okay. Was there a Sister Act 3?
I don't
No.
know, but we're still. I wanted to give some breathing room between acts.
That's fair.
Between
Okay.
Whoopi Goldberg and Frenchie, you needed some reason.
That seems right.
Room.
Yeah, I would say that like the first Conjuring has a good mix of like action in it as well.
The first Conjuring is everything.
Yeah, but it's great.
It's so good.
And this one, I think, is a little confused about whether or not it's in the Conjuring universe or the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
It wants
Okay.
to be a superhero movie.
And often to me, I felt like it was like I was in Army of Darkness. Like, it was Frenchie and his
Yeah.
shotgun
I got
Yeah.
you
and
there.
saving
Yeah.
the world. And I'm like, I feel like I walked in expecting Evil Dead and
No
getting
wonder
Army
you were
of
thinking of
Darkness.
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, I was thinking of Bruce Campbell the entire time.
I was getting that vibe.
Yeah, I was
up
like,
top.
the-
Thank you.
I was like-
I told Mary that earlier, and she was
Yeah.
all, what?
Okay, the man's exact face, our priest.
No, he's got the
Damon
butt chin.
Bashar? Is that how you say his name?
Butt chin?
Bashar?
Butchin?
He's a really good
I'm
actor.
Catholic. I'm a horrible Catholic.
But, you know, in this role, I wasn't quite into whatever he was doing, whatever choices he was making.
Oh, as
or
you,
they
I think you
wanted
told
him
me
to
that
make.
you're like, oh, he was chewing a lot.
He was chewing a lot of scenery
And I
there
was
for
like,
me.
You mean his way of speaking?
Yes,
Because that's not the way
yes.
he talks either.
didn't
I
like
liked
it.
I watched interviews. I'm like, that's not even how you talk.
Exactly. It was all for the role, and I just was like, I feel like you're overdoing it just a little bit.
Rough beast.
But as far as
He's seen some shit.
an Army of Darkness vibe, I see that.
Yes.
Very much
So,
so.
for what it's worth, though, like, I like the idea of expanding and making a Conjuring universe.
I'm totally
And
into that.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and even say I would be super down with full-on action comedy stuff set in the Conjuring universe. I think because I think that's one thing Marvel has done well, if we're talking about superhero movies, is they've taken it beyond just, hey, we're making a superhero movie to, hey, we're making a heist movie that happens to have superheroes. We're making a space opera that happens to have superheroes. You could have like, hey, we're making an action comedy that happens to have Valak in it. But
See,
I don't think that works for
I think
this.
where I would disagree is that the Marvel universe can do a different mix of genres, but it still involves the elements of a superhero movie.
For sure.
That I would be down to see a variety of different mixes in the Conjuring universe, but I think they should all still involve horror. I think they should all still be in some way involved with horror. Even I would be. I mean, because I'm not a big fan myself of the more slapstick Army of Darkness kind of vibe.
I wouldn't want to see it go that far, and I wouldn't want to. Let me walk back my stance now and say I wouldn't want a pure action comedy, but like if you had like an action horror thing, like what Overlord looks like it's going to be, where it's a lot more like, you know, Aliens 2 type, many of us versus a shitload of them type thing. I think that'd be really cool. If you want to do that, your first non-primary director can't be a second movie ever director. Like they needed a strong director to really expand this franchise out, and it fell apart with that.
Well, that's the thing is that, like, you know, like you have in the Stone Universe, you have Army of Darkness. But it's first is Evil Dead, and then Evil Dead 2, and then Army of Darkness, which just seems
Evil
worlds
Dead to
apart.
me is very different from Army
Very
of Darkness.
different.
Oh,
Very
so different.
Same universe.
Oh yeah,
Different.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Very.
And I
Yeah.
mean, there was time between them. I mean, obviously different. I mean, it just was an entirely different movie. This movie did not know what it wanted to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wanted to be scary at first.
Kept bouncing
then
back
it just
and
kept
forth.
like, it reminded me of someone who just kind of like, now I'm going left. Now I'm going to right. No, you know what I mean? I'm like, you're standing there. You're standing right in front of me, like, and you're sucking.
And then you just end up
you're sucking.
And then you just end up punching yourself in the face and falling
Yeah,
over.
because what they did is they did this to keep thinking thing, and I saw an interview where Colin Hardy was like, the secret weapon is Frenchie. I'm like, it's not so secret, man.
Yeah. You weren't subtle about that.
Not even in the slightest. You were obviously Bruce Campbelling it up the entire time. And at the same time, I guess what they were trying to do for us was that, she's not full-on nun when she goes into Romania, Transylvania, and checks out the abbey and everything. And then somewhere along the line, she's like, I want to be the nun. And then she's like, okay, I'm going to be the nun. And it's like, then you think she's the pure and she's the white and she's the one in white that's going to save us all. But then Frenchie?
Well, I mean,
But it was obviously Frenchie.
That kind of shows when you have a problem, you need a man to show up and fix it for you.
I will murder you.
I'm punching him, guys. Don't worry about it. I'm punching him right now. Don't worry, listeners. He has been punched.
I can't feel my left arm anymore.
I cut it off. He's in shock. It's fine. It's
fine. I didn't need that.
Stop hitting yourself, Ken. No, and that's the thing is you go in and you go with a little girl and a big gruff guy, and that's like, I'm coming in. We're gonna save this and find out if it's hallowed ground, because that's really what it's about, is finding out if it's hallowed ground. The abbey.
Well, I assume the Vatican was trying to, in a roundabout way, hey, go see if this evil that we know is there is still contained. If the ground is hollowed, then cool, we're probably good. If, crosses are turning upside down randomly, we might be fucked. Figure it out.
I'm sure you'll have time to come back and tell us.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing, though, because, and, I'm a lapsed Catholic, so I know all the stuff, but I'm just like, whatever. Whether or not a ground is quote unquote hallowed or not, it's not something you can physically check. You can't put a stick in the earth, pull it back out, and look at the color,
mirror, right? And
it's like
Men in
holy,
Black.
unholy.
It's just like Men in Black.
Somebody just shows up and is like, this ground is holy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is after you put the stick in it.
Yeah.
So
because you made a hole.
Oh
man.
Get out.
I like it.
no, you are.
No, enabler. You are an enabler.
This is what happens when you're engaged.
It's a bit like Zelda Rubinstein. This house is clean.
And it wasn't though.
Say that to me.
I did during the movie.
It's not now.
The house
That's
is
hella
clean,
funny.
and it wasn't then either.
Nope.
Zelda.
They're all wrong.
So then they walk in, and they're just like, well, just show us into the scary place, Frenchie, okay? And they're like, okay. And I guess even, you know how there's a part where they meet Frenchie, and they're like, hey, I heard you were the one that found the nun that died. And he was like, hey, what's up, nun?
Hey, girl.
How
you
see you're not
living?
really a full-on nun. And they're like, no.
You,
Except it never stopped. But so he grabs her luggage, and they put him on the wrong truck, right?
haha, very funny.
Right. Ha ha ha! Well, on that luggage truck or whatever, it had Valak also in the license
Oh, wow.
plate.
That fucking name was everywhere.
It was
my God.
everywhere, but it was in such a subtle way that it didn't matter.
It didn't have a point.
It was because I guess they did other films like Conjuring 2.
Right.
While she was reading the Bible, it was right there in the bookcase. That's cooler than random.
Are they setting him up to be like a big bad? Is this like Thanos?
Yeah. At the end of
he is kind of the Thanos of
phase 3 of the Conjureverse.
Yeah.
So they go over there and they're like, well, no one's home except for this crazy random woman in black that's sitting
Yeah, I would have
alone.
Fucked right out of there at that point.
no real.
No, you can't see her face, all in black. Oh, come back tomorrow. She tells him.
Also, the fact that they're so far away, and the nuns are also cloistered, and they also have a literal gate that drops when the sun goes down.
Yep.
That was beyond to me. I could not suspend my disbelief that far.
And they were acting so chill about it. In reality, they were acting very relaxed, the priest and Sister Irene.
This is normal.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about life, have a little dinner. When he's walking around after the radio comes back on and he's creeping about and he peers into her room with the flashlight, she's totally asleep. I'm like, who the fuck could sleep in this place?
Yeah, you take
real
shifts. One of you is awake at all times.
Yeah, sitting next to the other one.
Yeah.
I still would have had the suspension of disbelief. I was like, okay, fine. And then came the part where he had to go outside.
Chasing the
priest
boy.
had to chase the boy.
Yeah.
Literally, the foreshadowing in this movie was so ridiculous you can't even really call it foreshadowing because it happened the very next fucking scene.
Yes.
He's like, why are you special? She goes, I have visions. And he's like, well, I killed a boy one time.
One time, I killed a boy.
And he got out his guitar.
Also, I found it
Buzzing.
very weird that the priest was sleeping in all of his clothes on top of the covers, including his shoes.
Yeah.
Everyone was sleeping in their shoes.
Except for her, who got into a full nightgown so that she could creep through the cemetery with bare feet
nice,
in her nightgown.
In her nice,
She was the only one who had bare feet. Everyone, Frenchie, everyone had shoes on. It was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
Every scene was shoes.
Because it's fucking cold.
So cold in
but
Romania.
not to her.
Nah.
No.
Because
Not
she's
to
full of the Lord. But not really, because she's not a real nun, guys.
I was also...
She hasn't taken her vows yet.
I was pondering a little bit on the patriarchal nature of the Catholic Church as a whole.
What?
Well, because
What made you think of this?
I'm watching this movie going, man, Catholics are weird. And because they refer to the priests as father, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's part of the familial nature of the church. But the nuns are all called sister. And I'm thinking to myself, why aren't they mother? And I'm like,
Because there's only one mother.
because that would put them on an equal footing with father,
That
whereas
too.
sister is infantilizing and subjugating.
Yeah, and that's why you only get a single mother superior per coven, because you can't have nice things, basically. You can't have nice
Can't
things.
have nice things.
That's the subtitle.
But
of
I'm
this
just- I'm
entire
just
thing.
not-
None.
you can't have nice things.
I'm just watching this dumb movie and my mind is wandering and I'm like, this is bullshit!
This is why you can't have nice things. But when he's like, well, good thing I didn't. He basically told her, like, good thing I didn't get a hold of you, because if it was up to me, I had a special boy who had visions and basically just killed him from trying to.
I mean, that
exorcise
kid was
him.
also full on possessed.
He was
though.
full on
Like,
possessed. But then he goes out into the cemetery or graveyard, because it's attached to a church, so I believe it's a graveyard.
Right.
And then he
Yes.
gets.
I only learned that like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the difference
I
between
think actually maybe you were the one who told me that.
a graveyard and a cemetery?
Yeah.
creepy.
I learned that from Buffering the Vampire Slayer.
It was probably back there because of it. But when he checked out the gravesite and fell in, and then like everything like closed in on him, like the ground and everything was like nice and neat. It's like, and it was really fast motion. That reminded me of Army of Darkness. Like that shot
yeah.
right
Yeah.
there, right? Army of Darkness.
Yeah, it was a
And I
very
like, God
Sam
damn
Raimi
it.
shot right there.
Yeah. Agreed.
And that's exactly what brought me out. I was like, oh, I'm done. Shit, there's so much more to this movie.
At that
Yeah.
point, it becomes impossible. You know, that it's not just stuff is moving around and like the ghosts are doing it, but it's physically impossible for the ground to be undisturbed. You know, it's weird that I would have accepted a pile of fresh dirt.
Yeah,
when they
people
pulled
don't
away,
like that,
that's
huh?
what I was expecting
but
to see.
the
was
full
like
coverage
dirt.
of sod, I was like, movie, goddammit.
He's been there for years.
And then when we're seeing him in the coffin, you can tell that he's lying on an actual, like the bottom of the coffin, like there's pine underneath him from the shot. But then when he climbs out, suddenly the
body
bottom
and
is
books.
broken,
Yeah.
and there's a body with all these books. And I'm like, where the fuck did this come from?
Yeah.
I would have preferred that either we not see what's under him, like very low lighting, or he just has to know that he's on top of a body. He's like, what's this underneath me? Oh, it's a hand.
Yeah, it's a man holding a book. Okay. But I also
Yeah.
kind of thought it was silly that we just watched Frenchie bury her, that nun
Yes,
that
right.
committed suicide, but they buried her anyways. And then it must have taken him so long, and the demon's like, nope. Like, takes me but a minute.
Oh my
And
god,
look,
it
was
takes
perfect.
so fucking long to dig 6 feet.
Oh yeah, that's
Right.
a lot of dirt.
Yeah, it's
like
so
we
weird.
planted a couple trees the other weekend, and it was a hassle, and they were tiny little trees.
Yeah. We actually, when we had my uncle's memorial service not too long ago, and there was this whole big rigmarole with the cemetery, and so we ended, because he had been cremated, so we had a little box, and so we ended up digging the hole ourselves.
Oh my God.
And even digging that small of a hole took forever.
Wow.
But then I got to go, I dug a grave this weekend.
Grave digger. I'm
Check
a
that
grave
off
digger
the
now. Yeah. Bucket list.
Oh jeez.
So that was even before they met any of the nuns. Like, we have been through so much in this movie, guys.
So much fucking horseshit.
So
Yeah.
much more shit. Because that's my problem also with this movie. So you never get grounded. Never get grounded. There's nothing to be scared of. Because you never know what's normal to be scared of what's not normal.
Yeah, I need the rules.
I need the ground rules. Because that's what happens with, like, a lot of the other films, too, is that, like, this whole entire movie, I didn't know where the fuck we were. We're like, okay, now I guess we're in the catacombs. Well, I guess we're over here. But Conjuring 2, Conjuring 1, all of them. I could draw you a fucking diagram of those houses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we
like
just knew where we were.
There were two buildings.
Yeah.
Like there was a big building and a smaller building, and they talked about the church and the abbey and the convent, but I had no idea which the fuck was which.
No.
Me neither.
They were all exactly there.
Because I guessed that the smaller building was the convent, and that was where you slept. But the bigger building seemed to be where the nun had killed herself, which was where they slept. So then I was very confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she got the haunted room. She got the room that the nun killed herself in. They're like,
Still-
here's the room.
She's just
we
like,
need.
here, go enjoy. Shut the door, lock you in. Peace out. Yeah.
So, and that's part of it, is that the other movies you see, like, the long shot down the hall, and you like, I remember that hallway, it looked like this. And now it has a hand. I don't like that. Or whatever. No, it looks a little different.
Yeah, and as much as this movie loved their exterior shots, we got almost no good establishing shots of the rooms from inside the building.
No.
And I like this mansion, this old abbey looks fascinating. I would have loved much more of them walking through the halls in the daylight or when the sun is setting to give us more of an idea of to make the space feel more lived in.
There should have been some West Wing walk and talk shots.
Yes.
And instead, every shot was just, okay, we're here, we're planted in this room.
Right.
Maybe it pans around a bit, but you don't know where that room is relative to anything else.
Could have been a
So are we thinking that that's just bad direction, or do you think that was on purpose for any reason?
I thought that was bad direction because James Wan did say before this whole thing happened he was like, well, this is supposed to be an Italian horror movie, which is supposed to have it speak by your environment and everything, and it's what they're known for. So it's like, well, that didn't happen at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, were they going for more of like a Suspiria vibe?
I think so.
Well, I mean, are they?
Well, I kind of thought of. I kind of really thought of. Oh my god, the other one we talked about, where it's the red herring with the little gnome woman.
Oh, Don't Look Now.
Don't Look Now.
Yeah.
I thought of that a lot, and I was like, okay, but it was definitely not that.
No.
I felt like it trying to give us the red herring because we saw the nun kill herself, and then we saw nuns. The next day after their whole graveyard scene,
Yeah.
there was nuns.
Yeah,
Did anyone think they were alive?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I
did.
think
Yes.
I
You
thought
did
they were
at some
alive.
point.
Okay.
I did. I think because
I didn't think that the woman in black was alive.
Oh, no, I thought
did
she
not
was like
think
a weird
she was real
nun zombie.
at all.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe the nun that she first talked to at the table was alive.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
then after she locked her in the room, then I started doubting all of that. That was and then after that I was like, oh, I don't think anyone's alive in here.
oh no, I was dumb. I didn't get that the nuns were all dead until they revealed that the nuns were all dead.
Gotcha.
Yup, same here.
Nice.
I
How
think
about when they walked in like an army?
That was my favorite part.
That
my
was
favorite
a
part.
choice they made.
I was like, man, finally, here's these fucking nuns.
yeah, I thought they were going to go like open up some numb whoop-ass or something.
Yeah, they were
but-
stomping into that. Yeah, it was good.
It was actually, I thought, a little funny that finally, like, the nun backup comes up because the whole time it's just been our main nun and maybe one or two other nuns. And so we finally get the whole group, like the flock of nuns are together and we're going to battle this thing with prayer. And they're kneeling in prayer for like 15 seconds and then they all get whooped.
Yeah. That was a cool like overhead shot though,
Yes.
where she's in
Amanda
the
doesn't like
nuns
overhead
getting blown away.
shots.
What?
Oh, you don't like the flip around shots?
No, flip around shots are fucking garbage.
I'm not a fan of a flip around
I hate
either.
those.
Yeah.
Wait, what's a flip around
When
shot?
it's
They did that in The Conjuring.
Remember
Yeah.
when they're running down the hall and then,
And
it's
then
like,
it flips.
yeah, you have the camera like
Upside down.
up from the ceiling, and then you run underneath it, and then
then
it
people are
turns
upside
and follows
down
you.
and-
Oh
and
yeah,
you're upside down.
what's this art house bullshit?
Yeah, the only
this
time
out
that
of my
works
movie.
is Fast and the Furious when a car is like driving that quickly that it's like it would have turbulence
Anything works
flipped
in
the
the Fast and
camera over.
Furious.
I would say, like a lot of shots, there are sometimes when it works and sometimes when it doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
I've only seen this movie once, but I still remember in that movie, the movie about the Sam Jackson where he plays the guy who's made of glass.
Oh, Unbreakable.
Oh yes,
I was about to say glass. Is that
there.
That's the follow-up one.
There's a shot where the camera is pointed at a turned off television screen and you see the reflection of the two people talking, and it goes on. That shot is stationary for, I swear to God, 5 minutes. The whole scene played in the reflection of this TV screen, and it was way too long.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? Just show me the movie. God damn it.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Well, and that's the thing. Like even the upside down shot, I don't like it because normally it doesn't make any sense. But in Hereditary, they had a really good example of it. I forget the exact moment of it, but I remember watching it going, ugh. Okay, I hate this shot, but like they did this really well. This works.
Well,
here.
there was a lot of interesting shots in Hereditary that I think kind of worked because they're messing with your perception of reality.
Yeah, just let me
so
just
I think
pan
that's
for
okay.
30 seconds.
Right.
and-
Oh yeah.
Right.
Any time where you're involved, when the plot is about somebody who may or may not be losing the plot.
Yeah.
You know, weirder camera angles and frames
And all
make
the
sense.
all the miniatures and as well,
Yeah.
and the way things would look. When
Yeah,
they
and
were
they'd like
distant shot,
start
zoom
on a
shot
miniature and then
pulls.
pull out and we're in the house. And,
Right, and so I think it worked because that's what they were setting up both thematically and in their cinematography. But in The Nun, it was just like I felt like every 5 minutes we were getting an overhead shot of the entire building, and I got really tired of it.
Look,
by the
they
third
paid a
time.
lot of money to rent that castle.
It looks like this. Still looks like that. Where are you? Who knows?
Who knows where you are in this
where you
cavernous place?
Yeah,
Kenneth,
and it
I will
really
say
was that.
there's a flip around shot in Ragnarok that I actually really like. It's when Loki and Valkyrie are walking toward the Grand Master, and the camera flips over, and you see their reflection in the ground.
And you see his butt just above
Yeah.
you.
It's a great shot.
And that was a cool shot because also
Because who doesn't want to see Loki's butt, right?
Hi.
And Tessa Thompson's.
That too.
We are here for this. Anyway, so The Nun.
Yeah. The Nun.
So the thing is that, like, even I feel like we're jumping around because I didn't know where the fuck I was in the film. Like, it felt like it was jumping around. I have no idea. Trying to recall this film because I was like, well, things happened.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of very discrete plot points that weren't really linked together.
No.
Yeah.
Chris called it the exposition nuns. Ghost nuns, exposition ghost nuns, because that's all they did was they give exposition.
Well, yeah, there wouldn't have been a story otherwise.
Yeah.
If they didn't tell us something. It was just, I don't know. It just, a movie can be bad in my book as long as there's something. It's something that I can like about it, whether it's so bad that it's fun, or it's fun and not completely scary, but it's still enjoyable, or it actually scares me. This did none of that. None of those things.
Sharknado is a terrible movie. I love
But
watching
it's
it.
dumb and fun.
It knows what it is. This movie didn't know what it was.
There you go.
Because
Agreed.
it was still like trying to kind of do things The Conjuring was doing. I feel people like kind of stretch things just to make it okay. Like, I did hear that, like, oh, but, you know, when the nuns aren't really real because they're actually dead, and they find out that she's dead, they're dead, and then it's all about Valak trying to drive the nun crazy. I forgot her name. The one.
Irene?
Trying to drive Irene crazy. I'm like, is it? Is it? Because it's about, you know, infestation, oppression, and then possession, right? And I was like, I don't think it really thought that though.
No, it never felt
show
like
that.
No, it never felt that way,
at
right?
all.
Okay, it wasn't. Okay,
I think I feel like maybe they got too preoccupied with trying to make the nuns feel like they were really alive, and they didn't want to
got distracted from the.
They didn't want to give us too many clues that they were actually dead. So any hint that this might be a possession or infestation kind of thing kind of got lost because they were trying to be too subtle.
Yeah.
And then they were just not subtle enough.
Right. Well, that was another thing because there needed to be a nun always praying. Like, you would take shifts of nuns. I'm like, shouldn't the Vatican known that? Like, that kind of seems like something important too. That maybe you should have showed more than 2 people, maybe a dozen or so. That's what you said.
A deity dozen.
A deity dozen. So then the praying thing happens, and all the nuns go flying, and that didn't really work. And then she gets a pentagram on her.
Yeah, for a hot
Irene,
second.
For a hot second, right? Mm-hmm. Frenchie and all them. The Frenchie
They find her in there, and she's back together. Because did it really happen? Like, I don't even know. Because that pentagram was gone.
Yeah, Frenchie goes back and saves the priest.
Saves the priest.
Yeah.
Saves the priest with the shotgun.
No, he hits him with the axe, which was a good Chekhov callback to that axe because, you know, why you gotta carry an axe? And he's like, oh no, I'm saving the shotgun for an emergency.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then when the the nun rose from the dead like a friggin' deadite, and then he shot her in the face.
Yeah, shot her in the face, and then she was on fire. Or she was on fire first, and then she got shot. I don't know.
Yeah, fire first.
No, it was fire
Does
first.
it matter?
First, something happened.
Oh, because he put the crucifix on her, and the crucifix burst into flame.
So then
they find the Christ blood, right?
No, then they take the time.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
No.
Holy
that's
shit.
right.
No,
The holiest.
The holiest. That's when the darkness lines start coming too. The holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
The holiest.
Oh, that was.
Don't you think we should pray or something, Father?
No, my son, there's a time for prayer and a time for action.
Oh my god.
time for
The
kicking
only
some
way
ass.
that could have been better is if he had just racked that shotgun right there.
And the fact that we would, I feel like, thousands of movies seen notwithstanding, the fact that I even thought he might say that is a testament to what this movie was making me feel.
Yeah.
That it was a joke.
Yes. This movie either needed to be 60% less funny or 40% more funny.
Yeah, it just
they
was
either should have
splitting
leaned in
that difference.
or
Yeah.
backed off.
Because
then it's just dumb.
Yeah.
It started out pretty scary. Would you be mad though if all of a sudden he said, and there's a time for kicking ass, and just leaned right into that?
I would have been like, oh, well, this is what this is. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm honestly super fine with a movie that has a tone shift in the middle. That you if the movie started out really scary and then sort of devolved and became really funny, but you have to actually be funny. You can't just be kind of wacky.
Yeah. Because then they go after Valak, right? They're like, yes, we have the
Yeah,
blood.
here's the time.
Because Mary points the way, guys.
Oh my god! Her hand is literally
ET
lit
finger.
up.
She had her ET finger
Her
going
ET
on.
finger, and she's like, look at that. And she pointed to the wall, and then they got the blood ornament of Jesus.
The blood ornament. Exactly.
The hand
On
grenade.
sale in stores starting December 1st.
You can find this at NOTGL.
Oh my god.
nightofthelivingeek.com.
we should carry Jesus blood ornaments.
I feel like it's a great idea.
Yeah.
But I really think it should be more like a Listerine thing where you have to spin it out.
We're gonna get everybody a see-through clear ball. Mm-hmm. We're gonna write "I know what you podcasted" on it, and then I'm gonna put one drop of Kenneth's blood in there. On sale now for $19.95.
Brilliant.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm not really using it.
He gives it away like every month. It's fine.
Yeah.
This is true.
This is very true. So then they go after, and all of a sudden they're separated. All of a sudden they're separated.
God, they're so dumb.
Like,
Yeah.
did
That
anyone
took-
catch why? all of a
And
sudden
why
they're
did they
separated?
split up?
Because they're dumb.
Like,
and
I
they've
mean,
there's
never
no-
played D&D.
They right?
Never separate the party.
But it's just like
But they didn't have anybody to check the door for traps.
No one.
they didn't. It's like they didn't even spare 2 seconds to say, "Let's split up." That's all they needed to do to make that have any kind of
Yeah.
anything.
Somebody said we have to look for the gate,
And that was
they
it.
all just sort of wandered off.
yeah.
Is that what happened? Because I was like,
Yeah.
I don't
wait,
even
they're
remember
all
that.
Separate. Yeah,
Let me
then I looked at
mosey.
you and I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, by that point, I was kind of checked out of this movie a lot.
and that's when the nun ninjas came along.
Nun ninjas.
Nun ninjas.
Very
With
Silent Hill looking to
Very
me.
Yes.
The way they were just standing
when they were
there.
standing there. So she goes into the room and there's the nun ninjas and there's so many of them and then Frenchie walks
call 'em
in.
ninjas.
No.
Nunjas.
Nunjas. When the nunjas are there
the
and then Frenchie
nunchucks.
comes in, he's like, I'm gonna save this nun, and they stand all Silent Hill like.
Yes.
But also reminded me of Dark Knight of Batman when he has
Okay.
to find. When I almost expected him to kind of just punch one and be like, well, I know
Oh,
you're
yeah, when he's going through all the League of Assassin
yeah.
people? Okay.
I felt
yeah,
like
I could see that.
I was like, oh, okay. Like, so does he hit one? Or like, and then they just kind of file out.
Well, I mean,
Done.
I feel like if he was a little more on the ball, he could have just been looking at their outfits because you can't see their face. But like, our girl is dressed much differently than everybody else.
Also, just start pushing him over. Who
Right?
gives a crap?
Fuck it.
And then she
has a shotgun, right?
whispers from nowhere, what is it? Like, help me, Frenchie. Help me.
Which, by the way, his name is Frenchie, and Grease has ruined that name. There's
Oh.
no reason why his name should have been Frenchie, because he's a beauty school dropout who has decided
Technically, this movie is set in a pre-Grease world.
nowhere's pre-Grease.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
hate the fact that he kept going, I'm French Canadian.
I'm
Like,
French
I don't give a
Canadian.
fuck who you are.
But I love the way she's like, Frenchie. Like,
I'm honestly, I'm pretty. I was very confused because obviously this actress looks a lot like her sister.
Yeah, she does.
And I was sure that there was going to be some sort of familial tie-in.
Well, I'm throwing my hat over the fence. They're the same person. This
They're
is
not.
Can't be because
There's no way.
later, because we know that after all
They are.
this,
But they're not.
So, but after
what
all,
if
oh
they
my
were?
God.
This is set in the 50s, and The Conjuring is set in, what, the 70s?
70s.
Yeah, so it's 20 years later, which...
So
She's already in her 20s. This other woman in 20 years
and
later
Lorraine
is in her 30s.
Like in her 30s, like late 30s.
Like, there's no way
so
that
it's
adds up.
very early
You're
20s
squinting your
and
eyes like you're
very
trying to do
late
math,
30s.
and it's
No.
I would
She's
believe
like
that they were sisters or even twins.
like aunt, cousin, something
distant, weird
like
relative.
I will bet dollar every single one of you. It is the lady I don't remember her name, but the lady from The Conjuring who
Lorraine.
Yeah,
Lorraine.
the husband wife combo
Lorraine
team.
Warren.
Yeah,
Warren.
it is her.
Lorraine Warren. It's not.
She changed her
not.
name.
It's just because they're.
There's no
it's
way.
just because the actresses are related in real life.
Yeah.
Man. That your brain wants.
No,
to
no, it's going to be a thing. That's
I will
going to be
shake you right now. I bet dollar.
Shake him. Oh, I thought you were going to shake him. She shook his hand, and I thought you were going to grab
She
him.
just reaches
and
over.
shake him.
You're so
I am
wrong.
shaking him right now. Because we know that after she becomes all possessed and shit, that he touches her face with Jesus' blood, and then she's like, boom, you're not possessed. And then, little does she know,
Oh, Frenchie.
Frenchie has
Yeah,
a
that
snake in
sucks.
his mouth, and all of a sudden
Blech.
he's possessed.
Yeah.
Got a little cross hanging out on the back of his
What
neck.
was the villain monologue happen there, by the way? Like, the nun talked an awful lot.
Oh, you mean
when
at
she
the end
was
when she
in-
had it?
She was monologuing.
Yeah. Run away like you always do.
Like you always do, Frenchie.
Frenchie.
I feel like that part to me that didn't shake me because
We were gone.
demons love to talk. You know?
Oh yeah, they just want to
So
taunt you.
chatty.
when they're like demon possessions, those assholes love to talk.
Well,
so
I
was not
assume there's
surprised.
not much good conversation in hell, so they're just like,
It's also just screams.
Valley's
Yeah.
just been
Despair.
chilling for a long time too. Lots of nuns they've just been praying. That's not conversation.
yeah, that's them like prayer yelling at you for 400 years.
I'm so sick of Latin. Somebody talk to me in English.
Oh, thank God,
But she
French
doesn't
Canadian
talk.
man's here.
That's what I mean. Like, this whole time she hasn't talked to you. She's like, Frenchie, what's up?
Like they're old friends.
Hey!
But yeah.
So then we go ahead and then, you know, she saves. And then they have this whole theatrical moment where the nun is killing, or Valak is killing
Frenchie.
not Frenchie.
Oh, killing her. Yeah.
Because she's drowning her.
Sister Irene.
Right. She's drowning the Sister Irene. And then
She's all, ha! I've got blood in my mouth.
And then she spits in the demon's face, and I'm like,
As you do.
just as weird to me. 'Cause I'm wondering if the like sanctity of the Jesus blood is lost at all by
In her
being in
spit.
some
No,
random lady's
because
mouth.
she had taken her vows.
Oh my
That's-
god!
yeah.
She had committed
Get the
by
fuck
that
out of
point.
here!
Jesus.
Otherwise, she would have had a dirty non-Jesus mouth, but it was okay.
Dirty nun Jesus.
But didn't he just touch the Jesus blood? Didn't he have some remnant of the Jesus blood on Frenchie's hand when he touched
Probably.
her face?
That's okay. He's
And
French
I
Canadian.
don't really understand how the demon can be in then two places at the same time. So the demon is appearing to sister, was it fucking Eileen?
Irene.
Irene. Appearing to Irene in the form of the nun and is then exorcised from this, but had been in Frenchie the same time as well.
Like really long tail,
Gross.
and that wasn't a snake. That was
Gross.
just nun tail.
It's like demon STD. It
Well,
just
yeah, it's in you.
around. It's just what happens.
It's in you.
demon herpes.
I
Demon
felt
herpes.
really bad because when I mean, other than the fact that I thought it was fucking ridiculous that she spat on a demon Jesus blood, I thought this kind of seems familiar. And then Chris reminded me of Demon Knight: Tales of the Crypt, where Billy
That's a
Zane.
throwback there.
That's a
Oh
deep
my
cut.
God.
Like,
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane. And I was like,
Billy
oh
Zane.
shit, she spat on Billy Zane and the demon. And then he was like, blah, and I guess that is a thing now on the internet. They're like, oh yeah, remember this happened?
I did not see that. I did used to watch Tales from the Crypt, and I watched it very young, and some of those episodes fucked me up.
I don't know.
I mean, they
remember
were
that
fun.
one.
Yeah.
When you're young, those are fun stuff.
Yeah,
Tales from the Crypt.
she kind of looked like Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm like, so not Jada Pinkett Smith. Like, but
We should.
that should have been Jada Pinkett
We
Smith.
should rewatch some Tales from the Crypts.
I've never seen any of them.
Didn't
the little skeleton man, wasn't he always making bad puns?
Yes. And he was kind of a perv.
Sounds about right.
Kind of.
Pervy, punny skeleton man.
So then
didn't he have a name?
Oh, I'm sure he did. I don't remember it, though.
I will look it up.
All right,
Thank
great.
you.
Good.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
So then they seal up the thing, seal it back up.
It closes.
Because the Duke in the Dark Ages was all like offering blood to people, the Satan, and then
that guy.
Yeah, and then the Crusaders came in and sealed it all up.
Stopped that shit.
Blood.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's store some in the walls to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Right, because that makes sense. Like, don't give it to the Vatican.
No.
Don't
so that
do
they
that.
could just hand it to the people to begin with.
I assume the Vatican has like gallons of Jesus blood. Here
They're
and there,
bathing in it at night.
Yeah.
It's actually there's GMO Jesus blood just to make sure they never run
Gross.
out.
Hella down for it.
Ooh, that guy was called the Crypt Keeper.
There you go.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Frank or something.
Bob Christ.
Bob Christ.
I think that's what we said in the movie theater. Jesus
Biff.
Christ. It was Bob.
Oh, his
Christ.
best friend.
His best friend Biff.
Yep. Then we're all in the woods, guys, and we're like, that was a good job done.
Well done, folks.
Then Frenchie.
And Frenchie and his little cross in his neck. And then we hop ahead to the scene from The Conjuring.
Yeah, where we see Irene later on in life after she's changed her name.
Jesus, no.
That's the thing, though.
That is not
you
it.
think that she wouldn't have said, "Ah, man, I knew this guy from way back when. That was a sad thing. I didn't, my friend I lost or something."
So
she was a cold hard bitch.
We're taking this to like a sci-fi level where she they get out of there. She takes her vows properly, and then one day the Vatican wipes her memory, and she just wakes up and thinks her name's Lorraine.
That
she
seems
goes
right.
about her life.
Probably use some of that extra Jesus blood.
Well, now I believe it.
There you go. There you go. I explained it all.
She swallowed some of the Jesus blood, and it was
Yes.
like, oh. Who am I?
Now I'm a fresh new lamb, and I have forgotten my entire identity.
Exactly. Lorraine sounds
It also
like a nice
made her
name.
age much more slowly.
Yes.
It did.
So I wrote down a few notes today, not so much about the film because I just didn't like the film. But I was wondering.
Yeah, I
exactly.
feel like we've talked about the film so much that no one has to see it who is listening.
Yeah,
So one final thing I'll say about the film,
to see this.
in a weird turn for me, I feel like they used too many jump scares. Like it,
And they weren't that good.
See, and I thought it was going to be more jump scares. I thought it was going to be nothing but jump scares. And I was like, oh.
there was a lot in it though, and it felt like every scene was just building up to the next jump scare, and I got desensitized to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know what? I think the most jump scare was the little boy jumping on the father, who just totally preoccupied him the whole film. It's like, well, he's just going to deal with that now.
Yeah. Also, that
he was kind of checked
thing
out of
was
the reason
weird.
why they were there for a long time.
Well, yeah, because they kept bringing that kid back, but they never. There was never any resolution to it.
Yeah,
No!
he didn't
It
do
was
anything
never
with
like,
that.
oh, I forgive myself or whatever.
no, there was
No, Dustin
nothing.
and I, right?
No.
Because the
snake
boy
attacked
had the
his
snake
eye,
attacked his
right?
eye.
Yeah.
Nice.
But when it cut back to him after everything, he just had like a little red mark.
Yeah.
right
So
there,
I got scratched.
yeah, it did.
I
But
thought
then
it-
they still bandaged over his whole eye.
This is the
understand that
origin
either.
of Metal Gear Solid, guys. This is the origin.
I'm sorry, I don't understand that reference.
It's a video game.
It is a video game. I remember playing it a long time ago.
Game was dope.
So why did... Because Valak is something of the snakes. He does snakes and stuff.
Yeah, he's a snake dude.
He's Snake Dude. And the Marquis of Snake. So why is...
Snake?
That's good. You don't want to shoot too high.
No,
like
just
if you're Duke of Snakes, like
the
that's
king of
ostentatious.
snakes,
Yeah.
Duke,
It's too much.
Duke,
That's probably
Duke of
good.
snakes.
I would like off this podcast.
You mean you want to be on it more? Is what I'm hearing.
Sure.
Why did Frenchie get possessed but not the priest? Because they both were attacked by snakes.
Priest is consecrated, I assume.
Frenchie's unconsecrated. girl.
He's only French Canadian. Like
He's not French or Canadian. He's
Yeah.
Frenchie had too much sex. That was the problem.
He was a hoe.
Kept thinking the nun in salacious ways.
Gotta keep it in your pants, Frenchie.
God damn it, Frank. Are you the husband?
Oh God.
Oh, God.
Him and his long johns. I was like, get out of my face, man. Mm-mm. But yeah, so it wasn't scary,
No.
and it wasn't that good.
No.
And I mean, I really enjoy Tessa
Farmiga?
I like her a lot. She's got good acting abilities, and so does the guy who played the priest. I always say his name wrong.
I wish they would have given her more to do than wander around with a candle in her hand.
Ghosted around everywhere, and that was about it.
Well, I guess neither one of them, those actors, like horror movies. So they were like, this is just fine. We're good. Like, that was
this
scary
is as far
enough.
as we're going to go.
They were
She
like,
was in the first season of American Horror Story.
I didn't really like them.
Wait, she was?
Oh, yeah.
She
was
the
in
daughter.
Murder House.
Oh, it was so good.
It's a good season.
Who was she in that?
The daughter.
The daughter of the family. that moves into the murder
wow.
house. That's her.
That has been a while ago now.
And she
young then,
looks
huh?
the same to me.
I apparently blocked that
She's
season
not
out of my
aged.
brain.
But anyway, yeah. So I mean, the acting talent was there, but the movie itself had nothing to give them. I think to make
It was a bummer.
good. And so it wasn't scary, and I felt like the plot was kind of meh. And by the end of it, I was just like, I've had more fun making fun of it than actually enjoying the movie.
This is true.
Yeah.
So I did have a good time making fun of the nun.
Yeah, Bob
So that was nice. But I have some fun facts written down
What
here.
are these fun facts that
Fun
you have?
facts.
Fun facts. From Mary. Marvelous Mary. Marquis Mary.
The marquee of fun facts.
Fun fact Mary.
Fun
Marquis.
fact, Mary. So the director had a priest bless the set of the film before they started filming.
Did he?
Which cracks me up. Because I'm like, dude, you're leaning in so hard, which is fine. But
I'm
you
wondering
should
what
have.
facts you have, so I'll just wait.
No, what facts do you got? Give me facts.
His aunt is a nun.
Like in real life?
Yeah, in
oh,
real
that's
life.
cool.
So I
Okay.
thought that was interesting. I was like, oh, so just nuns aren't scary to you then? Like, it was your aunt. Like, because he said she was like the jolly nun. Like, he was like, nuns are just,
It still made a fuck ton of money.
It did.
And it's the first movie in almost a month to knock off Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh, wow.
That makes me sad, though, because Crazy Rich Asians is so
Such a
damn
good
It's
movie.
so good.
Compared to the
But
nun.
it's been making money hand over fist, too.
That's
so.
good. That's good.
So, I mean, and I don't feel like the nun's going to, like, hold on to that position for, like, some super long time.
Something else is coming down the pipe.
Something will come down and take it off. But there's already speculation of a second nun.
There it is.
Why?
Now,
Because
hopefully
James
he's not
Wan
in there.
can't be stopped.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that he's not good at what he does, but obviously he needs to either have a bigger hand in things or something.
Yeah.
Because this was a pile of hot garbage, and I'm afraid the Nun 2 would be the same.
It would be interesting if we brought in a different director and a different screenwriter, and then the Nun 2 was great.
Because James Wan's going to work with that same screenwriter for another project. So I'm like, I'm going to blame the director because James Wan is going to work with that screenwriter one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I feel that.
Yeah, because I feel like this was such a non-entity to me
A
that
non-entity.
Yeah.
I would
were
want to
turning
go
into-
in a totally different direction. Like there's so much acreage that you can investigate with the Warrens and all the shit they've done.
Right.
Like
There's a room full of things.
Fuck yeah, there is.
whether you believe their statements or you think that they're lovable con artists,
The lovable con.
they did a ton of shit. And I know that James Wan said that he doesn't want to do Amityville, which is why we only did like a touch of it in the Conjuring.
Which I think was really
that's
great.
for the best,
That was fine.
That was good.
Actually,
I was
to
actually
stay
scared
away.
when I saw Amityville in the beginning of Conjuring 2. I was like, oh no.
Because we've done the Amityville has been done and
Yes.
debunked,
Done
done
and
again.
done and done. Yeah.
But
We already got Ryan Reynolds. We're good now.
you can do pretty much anything with that. Paranormal investigators. Just make anything up. It doesn't have to be based on anything true. And there's so much other cool stuff you could do. And obviously, the best for me involves the Warrens because the Warrens are so much fun.
Well, and the actors they chose to play them.
Oh, they're great.
They did such a good
Yeah.
job. Vera and Patrick Wilson.
Patrick
Wait,
Wilson.
so-
I love Patrick Wilson.
Yeah.
Did that guy die in Conjuring 2, though, or something?
No.
No.
Well, because I
She
swear-
had her premonitions, but she was able to.
Oh, that was
stop
just
that.
a premonition where he got chest
Yeah.
stabbed.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I was bummed about that. I was like, oh, I like him.
No.
Yeah, there's a whole thing where he's like at the window. You think he's going to fall on the tree, but then he doesn't.
Okay.
She
But
saves him with her love.
She calls the name of the nun. She says it out loud, and that casts Valak back to
Okay.
who the fuck
Hell,
knows.
she sails, but
Hail.
I mean, you could even have a connecting movie of like Frenchie not realizing he's possessed, wandering. He's like, oh,
You
let me
just
go
want a
somewhere
movie
else.
about
just want
Frenchie
more
because
Frenchie.
I'm not.
You're not wrong, but also no, just like have him be a cameo passing through another random village in like the 60s or something, and then just the lingering essence possesses that village, and he only needs to be in it for 2 minutes now because he's now basically the nun STD transmitter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I just had an interesting idea that if in this universe the spirit can infect more than one body at once, like it can be the nun, but it can also be in Frenchie.
What's that tail?
But if it can infect 2, why not more than that? So if Frenchie came through and I don't know, put a drop of his blood in a small town's water well, would it infect the whole town and then the entire town becomes possessed and then we have to send in one priest?
Be like Village of the Damned.
Sort of. Yeah, one priest has to figure out a way to exorcise the entire town at once.
Yeah, because the Vatican would only send one.
Yeah. Just one.
Can't have more than that.
Vatican's like, wait a minute. What?
And it's like if he tries to exorcise just one, then the rest of them will know it's coming on and come stop him. So he has to find a way to exorcise the whole town all at the same time.
That would be cool. And then you could get kind of zombie trope type stuff going into the Conjuring universe.
Yeah, so that would be an interesting mix of a bottle episode, a zombie movie, and a ghost movie all at the same time.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. That'd be fun.
See, that'd be interesting.
I just wrote that in 5 minutes.
See, James Wan.
James Wan.
James Wan.
Get in touch.
James, call me.
Call me. And an extension, all of us.
Yes.
We will all work on this.
We were all right there, and we'll be right there the whole way. We'll ride those coattails.
I don't work for free, but I do work for cheap.
I work for you, James Wan. I guess, so Colin Hardy had an experience making this film also, he said?
I feel
I
saw something about
he did.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't read it,
People are always like, I had a spooky experience when I was making this film.
He said that he walked into a room and there was 2 guys who were in that room, and he's like, you can't, and he saw them, and there were a lot of people who didn't speak English, some people did, and he's like, hi, nodded to them and everything. And he walked in the dark room and he's watching the different shots, and then he's looking for that shot, fucking found it, just punched the air like the Breakfast Club and shit. It was like, yeah! And he looked back at them and he's like, yeah, do you see that? And they weren't there.
Oh, they could have just walked out of the room.
What if they
he
just
said
walked
there
out
was
of the
no way in or out of that room. He would just seen the light and everything.
Yeah, okay.
He's like, so...
I do not believe him.
No.
Full stop.
Considering that he had the set blessed, I feel like he's leaning pretty heavy into how can I make this scarier?
Oh, he was like, oh, yeah, so that thing happened. That was kind of weird.
No, if you want me to believe your set is haunted, you're going to have to buckle down and kill it extra.
No, man.
My God.
You gotta use real heads like Poltergeist in the fucking pool. That's what you gotta do.
There you go. Yeah,
So
if you want a set to be, theorized as being cursed, you got to go Poltergeist style, where people start dying after they
do like Cannibal Holocaust and kill a real dog.
Oh God, that's right.
Ew. What?
Yeah,
no, we don't do that.
It's like it's like the horror movie version of smut film.
Oh no.
You mean
no? Yeah. Wait, it's the other word. With the S.
Snuff.
Thank you.
Snuff film. Yeah.
It's like ew.
Cannibal Holocaust was filmed in some country in Central America or Southeast Asia or somewhere, and where they don't have all the rules that they have in America about animal cruelty and all that stuff. And so there's a scene in it where they kill a small animal. I'm pretty sure it's a dog, and they legit killed that animal.
Yeah, and see, now everybody who saw the movie, the whole thing was like, oh, there's people really being eaten by other people.
People
but that
actually
was fake.
People actually believed that a woman had been killed. There's a scene where, I'm not going to get too graphic, but there's a scene where a woman is supposedly impaled on a pole. So it comes out of her mouth.
Uh-huh.
And it was done by having the actress hold the thing in her mouth so it looked like it was coming out of her, but it was so perfectly placed, and this was still in the 70s, and it wasn't CGI, it was all practical effects. And because you had seen this horribly realistic murder of this animal, that then when you see
you're kind of buying into it.
So they had a criminal investigation into this film because they're like, you killed a woman, and he's like, no I didn't, there she is, she's fine.
A dog. Jesus.
Just another living thing.
Just another living thing. Well, I wonder if there is going to be an Nun 2. There's a big thing I was looking at when I was on YouTube for different, outlooks, and I was like, I like to look at different interviews, and people were saying phallic, the real story, and I was like, what?
Who needs their real story?
Right? But the thing is, I get in certain books. I can't remember the name. It starts with a G. I want to say Gormagon or something like that. I'm looking at B like
I don't know. Sorry.
B, say it. That Valak is an actual demon. It looks like a small child with wings, a small little boy, and he's supposed to be like a general of hell, where he has armies. He has no interest in possessing anyone. He's still called upon when like people go out to sea for treasure hunting.
Okay.
And I was like,
That's weird.
that's weird.
All right.
Cool. Are we gonna get a pirate film?
Oh my
Pirate
god,
film nun.
pirates!
Yes.
Pirate nun.
Pirate nun.
Dude, have it be a bottle thing set on, a giant shipping cargo ship in the 60s or something, and Frenchie's working it.
Get Frenchie
Boom!
out of my life.
Look at that.
I really did think Frenchie was a bad actor.
I was not into Frenchie.
No.
I'm sorry, I wasn't.
It wasn't. And maybe because I thought he was a bad actor because he was saying lines a certain way and that people would say the lines the other way, and I was like, you're not getting much off of people, but you're really putting it out there, but
No.
okay.
Yeah.
But Kenneth picked up what he threw down, so that's okay.
I was cashing those checks, if you know what I mean.
No.
Well,
No.
never mind.
Oh god. The nun.
Grimmel? I'm just keep saying made up words at B.
What was it?
Grimmer.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Well,
Yes.
On that note,
on that note, no need to see The Nun. Just keep watching The Conjuring.
go
2.
see it if you want to, I guess, but
See
I
what
liked
you
it well
want to
enough.
see.
personal opinion is
Yeah.
not very good.
See what you
No.
want to see. Don't expect what you've seen from Conjuring 2,
No,
Annabelle, Animal Creation.
None of that.
I would say if you really want to go to a matinee or like use your movie pass or something so you don't have to pay for it.
Get that
There you
2
go.
beer special that Kenneth got.
yeah.
And then spill some on your friends.
Yeah, dump one on B.
Well, she didn't tell us about the film. So.
Yeah, actually, that was kind of your fault. I was post dumping on you.
Oh, don't worry. We got you, girl.
Okay.
We got you, girl.
Well, I think Mary knows where to find us.
This is true, but I want to say we've been talking as a crew here at I Know What You Podcasted last summer, and so keep your ears tuned in because we've got some special bonus episodes that are going to be coming starting next month in October of some scary stories and stuff of that nature. Mm-hmm. And then I think we're also going to start branching out into television shows as well to give you like little rundowns of things that we're watching, like the new season of American Horror Story. There's the new rendition of The Haunting of Hill House that they're doing on Netflix. And also there's The Purge, which I myself am not going to get involved in the
I'm
TV
hyped.
show. But
Yes,
I know
I'm hyped
it's
for
so
that.
good. I'm so excited.
And there's also Castle Rock.
Castle Rock.
Castle Rock,
Castle
I would
Rock.
love to talk about Castle Rock.
There'll be a little mini cast that we'll be throwing out there for you to pick up and
Yeah.
listen to
And I
when you
think
drive.
that'll be fantastic. And of course, you'll be able to listen to that at notlg.com and at Night of the Living Geeks at SoundCloud. You can find us on iTunes.
Give them 5 stars.
5 stars.
Give them 5 stars, and just to let you know, we know exactly what we're seeing next month. I can't remember the name of it. Mary might know because she might be geeking out over it
It's
as
the
we
most
speak.
wonderful time.
Look, it's a little movie about a guy named Michael Myers.
Not the comedian.
And Not the comedian, correct. And, he's just coming home after being away from a while.
Had a long vacation, had a good rest,
and
feeling tanned and fit.
catching up with old friends.
I'm
Maybe
so
a family
excited for
reunion
Jamie
of some
Lee Curtis
sort.
in this.
Just,
Right?
just
She's
a
gonna
family
kick some
reunion.
ass.
She is starting. Let's see. We're recording this right now, so on the 28th of September, I believe, is when the next issue of Entertainment Weekly is coming out, and she's on the cover.
Nice.
Sick.
With a big ass knife in her hand and a pumpkin with Michael Myers' face carved into it, and
That's
I'm
awesome.
gonna get it. But yeah, next month we're going to be watching the new Halloween that will be coming to us on October the 19th.
I'm so excited for this one.
Yeah.
The
We're
last
very
one
excited.
was a bummer.
Yes, it was.
So I'm excited for this.
Is it skipping, though? Is it just the first and the last, and that's it?
It is little. Oh, you mean what the new, like what the new
Like the
one's
timeline?
doing?
Are they ignoring everything in the
They're
middle?
ignoring everything except the first Halloween.
There you go.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
H2O.
There's
I know.
no H2O. There's no
I
Curse of
love that
Michael
one.
Myers. There's
Yeah.
no Halloween 2. There's none of that. None of it.
I was talking about how the Rob Zombie one was a bummer.
I keep forgetting that exists.
Yeah.
So-
And it's for the best.
Yeah.
So that's what you'll be hearing from us next month.
That's right.
And you can listen to it while you're, waiting for children to come by, and hopefully Michael Myers won't be visiting you at the same time.
Mary, can you sing us a little bit of the Halloween theme song?
Yeah, Mary.
God, can I?
Can you?
Hold on a second. Sing it. I don't think there's words. I could make them up, but... So, are you going to chime in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we are.
All right. Okay, hold on.
And no one does.
Oh my gosh.
They're just bobbing their heads. It's not help at all, man. If I had known, I would have played that copyrighted material on our podcast.
It's okay. I think 15 seconds or less, we're golden.
That's great. That's great.
Like a needle drop.
John Carpenter, call us.
So, Kenneth, now that we finished talking about The Nun, how many Screaming Kenneths would you give it?
So I'm going to say only like 2 for this. It started out with some really good jump scares and good moments, but they just, like I said before, they leaned way too heavy into the jump scares, and I just got desensitized by the end of it, and it just, I don't know, it just kind of fell apart at the end. And so where in Hereditary, I was just a ball of nerves for the back half of the movie. This one, I was like, okay, cool. Now they're spitting Jesus blood on people and whatever. So, yeah, I'm going to say 2.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. I feel
stick with that.
I feel like on a scale of 1 to 5, for me, scariness, I'd give it like half of 1.
I'm a big baby, and you are much more badass than I am. So
This is very true.
you know.
We'll see you for Halloween. Hopefully you'll be enjoying that with us.
Yes.
And before you do, and you just gotta listen to us, then you can creep it real!
Keep it real.
Ow!
Hey listeners, do you want everyone to know what you did last summer? Want to bring a little Halloween to even the sunniest of days? Check out our merch store at shop.spreadshirt.com/NOTLG for shirts, hoodies, mugs, and commemorative knives. Okay, that was a joke. We don't actually have hoodies. Okay, that also was a joke. We do have hoodies.
This has been a Night of the Living Geeks production. For more information and content, visit NOTLG.com.